Hey guys, there's a dirty box in front of me right now, and no, it's not full of money, but what's inside is equivalent to money, in my opinion, and you are wasting if you're throwing these things away. Let's say you had a TV that broke, or you broke it if you're smart like I did. Well, why waste all these beautiful components that are inside these devices? I'm not gonna pull everything obviously, as you see. I have a lot of them. So let me put this on the side real quick, and we're gonna extract parts that are extremely useful in real life. Let me put this tiny chip here. Now, what I'm talking about. Well, let's begin with the obvious first. Right here, I'm not sure what you see, but what I see here is cool stuff. Transformers, heat sinks, capacitors, voltage regulators, other capacitors. I mean, relays. What is there not to like about this one? Look at the fuses. For example, a tiny fuse. Good luck buying that on Amazon without a shipping fee. There's another fuse. There's another fuse. And I'm talking about the main parts that are extremely useful. Look at the other fuse too. And these are all high quality stuff. This is not cheap stuff. And transformers, for example, as you see these, you don't need to keep winding coils and stuff for a project. Why not take this one right here? Let's say you can make cool stuff like, don't go research this one, but there's a way to make an EMP device with these stuff here and just a battery. Let's put it that way. You have a battery with components from this board here alone connected to that battery. You can make an EMP device, tiny one that you can fry electronics for fun. This is for educational purposes only. This information is not to be used in any way, shape, or form in an illegal matter, because depending on the state or country you live in, that could land you behind bars or with a high fine that you could probably not even pay. And the sad part is that a lot of people see the old devices and the TV broke, and I'm talking about even if you're a technician, the TV broke and now they're just, let's throw it to a waste bin somewhere. Why? I'm not talking about saving the planet and the universe and all that stuff. That I'm not the adequate person to do that, but I'm talking about saving your wallet. Look at these capacitors. Look at them. If you're a technician, you see how much value there's just there alone. I mean, seriously, look at here, for example. Look at the ports that we can take here, right here. Look at the jacks, ports 3.5mm. Look at the RCAs. Look at the clip-on port. Really useful. Well, now, arguably, you could probably reuse the VGA and DVI and all those other ports if needed. It's not really that hard. You can actually desolder them from underneath really easy and really quick, and they all can be used. Look at high voltage transformers. Look how many of them are here. And yes, I have more boards that contain them. Tell me that's not beautiful and useful. Look at the capacitors here. Now, the other parts I may not really care much. Maybe the voltage regulators. That would be something that I would go after. And let me show you this other board, for example. That was from another TV. Look at these transformers. Where do you even find them these days? Seriously. Look at the coil transformers right here. These are beautiful. Look at the relay. Look at the heatsink. Look at the capacitors. Look at more coils right here. As you see, you know how useful these are for projects? A million times you come across a project that you want to do, and small components like this will actually decide if you can even finish that project or not. Why not salvage all these beautiful things that you have laying around and get parts for project? Now let me put these on the side, and we're gonna pull a few parts. This one right here, because it's easier right now, that's why. Look at these big caps, 450 volts, 150 microfarad. There's projects that you can actually go with them. There's relays. As I said, there's ceramic capacitors around here. There is ceramic fuses. There is so much to be salvaged here. You can build so much stuff. Voltage regulators. I mean, you cannot find these things to buy just want a tiny fuse, let's say 5 amp fuse. Good luck going and buying it without extra shipping, waiting a few days, know that. Instead, you have your parts right here. You just have to desolder them, that's it. But there's another way. If you don't have a lot of parts, for example, at home, you can go on, let's say, Craigslist. There's the free stuff section. Look for broken TV, broken computers, broken devices that people just want to give away. like a curbside pickup. You can go pick it. Well, you can try to repair it if you want to first, but don't repair it. You can harvest all these beautiful components and make project. You can do voltage boosters, voltage regulators, you can do bridge rectifiers, you can do all that beautiful stuff with them. You can use these ceramic fuses for inline fuses. These, in my opinion, are the best I ever come across, especially for intense projects that you might have. Heat sinks, they're all machined aluminum that if you go buy them individually cost you quite a pretty penny. Then these beautifully round up coiled transformers, look at that. Where do you even find this online? I guess you could find it, but not exactly in this pristine condition and carefully built, because it was made for a TV or a monitor, and it was made with a certain standard precision. That is why these are better than the ones that you might buy on shady sites that you don't know if they're gonna work or if they're gonna blow your project up and not work at all at the end of the day. So in my opinion, if you toss these things away, all these logic boards or whatever you want to call them, you're wasting money. You're literally throwing dollars to the garbage bin, or euros or pounds, whatever you have in your country. So with that said, let's jump in, desolder a few components, and see what we're working with. And one thing that I almost forgot, always discharge the capacitors before proceeding their removal. Now, best way is with something that's rubberized or whatever you want to call that. You find where the capacitors are, you go under where their legs are, you just kind of make a little contact between those legs, as you see right here. These are discharged, or you can do it with a screwdriver. If they had any charge on them, you will see a small spark. Other than that, you are really good to go. Okay, so there is a ton of things that I could go through here, and I just don't want to waste you guys' time. I just want to show you, for example, a few parts that took off just a couple minutes. It didn't really take a lifetime to do this, and so far, look what we got. Ceramic piece of beauty right here. This relay right here. These are all good and working. Nice, beautiful, machined heat sink. That's actually really nice. There's the whole transformer right here that I told you about. There's a lot of projects that you can do with this one. There's another relay, another coil thing here that you don't need to wind them yourself. You have it already made right here. And here's the cap. As I said, 450 volt, 150 microfarads, as you see right here. Now, I don't know how many Henrys they're gonna go, but that is to be calculated. That is really, really good stuff. That's another different relay, in case you want to see it right here. That's the other coil winding right here. A lot of projects you could do with these things here. And here's another beautiful fuse, ceramic. That's another ceramic piece of cap. The other cap is a diode here. Not sure if the camera will let you see it, but what this one does, for example, in the project, you can put it in either this way and the current will flow this way, or flip it the other side and the current will flow only the other side and will not let it come back. Especially if you're doing battery packs, for example, that is extremely useful because you don't want current or voltage, electricity, whatever you want to call it, to go back to your solar panel. So this tiny guy right here can prevent that from happening. So this one will allow current to come only from the solar to the battery and not the other way around. And that's just a small example of what you can do with parts that, instead of going, for example, on eBay or whatever, I bought parts from eBay and other places. For example, this buck booster converter, just look at it, for example, inside the components. Do you see any resemblance of components that we can find from some of these things here? As you see, what I'm saying is not complete stupid. You can build your own, for example, buck booster converter. That is beautiful. Instead of paying, it's not that expensive, it's 10-15 bucks. But why pay 10-15 bucks when you can have fun actually building it, You can buy breadboard online. They're really, it's called breadboard, this stuff right here. Now, yes, you can order online. You can design it on CAD if you have an idea what you're designing, and buy it already assembled with connectors and all that. But instead of doing that, for example, you can actually recycle some of these guys here. There is a way to strip down the copper that's on it. You can do it either with chemicals or by manual. As you see, it's easy to break. For example, you can go with a knife, X-Acto blade, or a box cutter under the beginning of it, and you start lifting. You have an empty breadboard, and when it's empty, you can just punch holes where you need it and use wire instead of the whole beauty here that you have with copper. You can just use wires to connect it and make your own circuit, and you can build, you know, converters. You can even build an entire inverter. And you know what's in inverters? It's this stuff right here with these stuff right here, and probably you might see one of these transformers. This one was taken from a UPS battery. It's seriously that easy to build circuit boards for all your needs around the house, and it's so easy to go online and you can find diagrams for all different kinds of stuff. And there's other YouTubers that go even in more detail than me, for example, on how to build this stuff. And I just seriously don't see the reason why people would toss away these beautiful things that you can harvest so many parts and build so many beautiful projects out of them. And with that said, I hope you learned something today, and hopefully you'll go out there and be careful, obviously, while you do this stuff, because you're working with electrical parts. And these guys here, you have to watch for to discharge them. Take something that has some rubberized or stuff, and you put it, so you make a contact between the two legs to make sure that they're discharged. Besides that, the rest is very easy. And you know, capacitors can be in all various shapes or forms. This one is a cap 2, this is a cap 2, but so is, let's say, this one too. So with that said, if you're not sure, for example, what a part is, when you're looking at them, they all have numbers. Even the tiny thing right here, you take those numbers and you put them on Google, and it will tell you what it is and where did it belong. And that is the beauty of the internet today. And now, in the end, with all that said, be careful when doing projects and don't waste money. This is money. Don't toss it away. I hope I earned your subscribe and like on my video, and we will start. Bye!